Hello, my name is Lindsay Lee, and in this video, I'm going to walk through this KPI dashboard and give a brief overview of how I created it. The purpose of a KPI dashboard like this one is to display business metrics in a way that can be easily manipulated by someone who is not as familiar with Excel. As you can see, this dashboard tracks several different business metrics. It tracks the total sales by product type, the total sales by customer segment, the total sales in 2016 over the course of 12 months, the total sales in the top 20 countries, the total sales by region, the return percentage, total sales, total profit, and profit percentage. Now over here to the left are these buttons called slicers. Slicers allow you to easily filter the data on the dashboard. For example, if the user wanted to see these metrics for the month of January, all they have to do is come over here to the January button and click on it. Once they do that, Excel will automatically filter the data to show the desired results. To clear the selected filters on a slicer, all the user has to do is come up to the clear filter icon on the specific slicer and click on it. This will remove all of the filters from the dashboard and reset the data to its original state. Now again, over to the left, this data can also be filtered by region. So, for example, if the user wanted to see these metrics just for the region of Africa, all they would have to do is click the Africa button. And again, Excel will automatically adjust all of the data to show the metrics for just Africa. What's cool about slicers is that users can filter the data across several slicers. For example, if I wanted to see these metrics for the month of February in Canada, it is as simple as clicking the buttons for February and Canada. Now that I've walked through how a user can interact with this dashboard, let's dive into how I actually created it. So each of these charts here on this dashboard, as well as these metrics in the corner, display data from a separate pivot table. Let me show you what I mean by that. So all the data displayed on the dashboard, I got from this table here. This table holds a company's raw sample sales data. To calculate a specific metric that I wanted to display on the dashboard, all I would do is come up to the Insert tab and select Pivot Table. Once I did that, Excel would ask me what data I wanted to use for the table and where I wanted the table to be located. After selecting my desired preferences, I hit OK, and Excel automatically created a pivot table. Now, for instance, if I wanted to calculate the total sales for each month during the year of 2016, all I would do is come over here to the pivot table fields and click and drag the fields into the right area. For example, I would drag sales into values and then order date into rows. And as you can see, Excel easily calculated the total sales for each month during the year without me having to perform any complex calculations. From there, I would format the values exactly how I wanted them to look. And then I would click on the Pivot Table Analyze tab. From there, I would select the Pivot Chart tool and choose the desired chart I wanted to create. Once Excel created the chart, I would format it to look exactly how I wanted it to look on the dashboard, and then I copied and pasted it directly onto the dashboard. So if we go back to the dashboard, all these charts here were created by calculating the data using pivot tables and displaying them using pivot charts. The metrics here in the corner were also created using pivot tables, but the values were simply just copied and pasted directly into the dashboard. To create the slicers, all I would do is click on one of the charts, navigate to the Pivot Chart Analyze tab, and simply click Insert Slicer, and choose the desired slicer I wanted to add. To connect all these charts and metrics to each of these slicers, I would click on the slicer, click on the Slicer tab, and select Report Connections. Then I would simply tick the box next to the pivot table that I wanted the slicer to connect to. And that is how I created this KPI dashboard using pivot tables, pivot charts, and slicers. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it was helpful and that you have a great rest of your day.